Namaste, guys. I am Dr. Anushruti and I am back with a beautiful episode. Beautiful because today is going to be about beauty, skin, hair. We all love our skin and we all love our hair. But do we actually take care of it? To discuss all this, I have Dr. Dustin Portela with me today. Dr. Dustin Portela is a board certified dermatologist and a dermatologic surgeon with a passion of enhancing your health and beauty inside and out. He has over 2.5 million followers on all social media sites. So, why are we wasting time? Let's directly speak to him. Hello, Dr. Dustin. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
So are we. Of course, we all are excited. All my audience is excited because we are going to get some free tips about beauty and health. So why not to begin this very quick? So first for and foremost question, Dr. Dustin. Why, why do you think people do not take care of their skin and hair unless they have a problem appearing? They would not look around their skin or hair. The majority of people, unless they have acne, unless they have pimples or dandruff, why is it prevailing so much?
Yeah. We take for granted our health, I think. And it's not just for skin that we take our health for granted until there is a problem. And that's a cultural issue. I know we face it here in the US where people don't see a doctor until all of a sudden they're in a crisis and now they want a pill to fix that. And preventative care really is so valuable, but we tend to put off that kind of stuff until there is a problem like dandruff or pimples or rosacea or something like you mentioned. And so it really becomes a knowledge problem, an education problem. And that's what I try to address through social media is to provide that knowledge and that education to encourage more people to take those preventative steps on their healthcare and their skincare.
Absolutely. And with this, we have come across a lot of reels and TikToks. I know you react to it and clear the air about it. But we do have a lot of people in my audience who actually tend to blindly follow all these TikToks and hacks, beauty hacks, hair hacks. What do you think? How, this all stupidity, I would say, is impacting on people's life? We have come across a lot of people showcasing their results like they have skin burnout and hair loss. So, what are the impacts and how people should actually believe it or not?
Well, in general, if it looks too good to be true, it really is. You have to think that most of the health problems that we have, most of the skin problems that we have, rarely show up overnight. And because it takes, years for us to accumulate a health problem like high blood pressure, chronic kidney disease, acne, we may have a pimple that appears overnight, but when in reality, fixing these problems takes time, just like it often takes time for them to develop. And so you need to be aware of that. Anything that's promising results overnight. One of the most frustrating ones online is this green mask stick where people put it on and then they're clearly using Photoshop to blur out the skin problem. And people must fall for it because they continue to run these ads. So I assume they're selling product. So
I believe
if
they
it looks
have
too good to be
somehow,
true, it
yeah,
probably is.
I believe they have somehow, picked up the nerve of people. They have turned every video into being satisfying. Like I have seen a lot
Mhm.
of videos peeling off the white heads and black heads, and like it is totally unbelievable to see. And I do not know how do people fall for it. Big holes are coming out of it, hair like structure, and what they tend to do it, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is my personal observation that they have picked up the nerve that people want to see some satisfying videos and they believe
Yeah.
that this is the reality of it.
Right. I completely agree. We have this desire for instant gratification. Nearly everything in our lives has become so convenient and so fast that we also want our skincare to be the same way. And it's unfortunately not that way. Really good skincare is doesn't give that immediate satisfying gratification. It takes 4 to 6 weeks just for your skin to turn over. So when you have a problem, you may begin to see some early results with hydration, but real meaningful change with your skin takes time.
DIY, do it yourself. We all know these are some of the traditional, trends that are going on for time to time. As a dermatologist, being a doctor, what do you feel? What do you, prescribe the patients? Are you okay with them using DIYs for their skin and hair? Or would you always prefer some branded and, certified dermatological creams and medicines?
It's generally pretty rare that I would recommend anything that is DIY. And there's a couple reasons for that. Now, obviously, most all skincare probably has a root in DIY. When we look at, older civilizations and their beauty routines, they were making their own clay masks, they were coming up with their own exfoliators. But over time, we found that those aren't always stable formulations. They may not always deliver results. And we have excellent technology with cosmetic chemists who can take the foundations of these DIY ideas and put them in a formula that allows them to remain effective on the shelf for months, if not years. We can also make them less irritating to the skin. We can create them in different concentrations. And when you start mixing things up at home, you're not using professional equipment that creates a homogeneous mixture so that the first drop is the same as the last drop. You may be subjecting something to growing mold or bacteria in it because you're not using preservatives. So I really have an issue with DIY skincare when it's coming out of the pantry, when you're grabbing things from your refrigerator and your pantry and you're mixing them up, because we all know what happens to food if you leave it on the counter too long. It grows bacteria. You get sick if you eat it. So that's certainly not good to put on your skin. The rare circumstances where I do tell patients to do a DIY is usually buying one cosmeceutical product and another cosmeceutical product and then mixing those together, because we know that we're getting two things that do have preservatives. They have been shelf tested. And the way that we instruct patients to use them is usually to mix it in small quantities that they use right away, rather than something that will sit on the shelf forever. So, and we know that there's certain ingredients that won't work well together. You should not be mixing benzoyl peroxide and tretinoin and thinking that you're going to have an effective solution for acne. They neutralize each other, they break each other down. And so you really should, work with a cosmetic chemist or a dermatologist if you want to do anything like that, because there's things that just are going to become ineffective or even dangerous.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Dustin, we are recording this episode for the people, for audience. So why not to bring in them right now? So I would like to introduce you to one of the favorite segments of my show where we answer the question of my follower, patients, and clients. So I have a bunch of questions ready for you. Is
Okay.
Dr. Dustin ready to answer the questions?
I am ready.
Cool, let's move on. So the first question comes from Mr. Sanjay Kumar from Mumbai. Have you heard about Mumbai?
I have, yeah.
Cool. So he says, "Hello, Dr. Dustin, how are you? I am a 22-year-old male and I have a lot of open pores. Why does this happen and what can I do for it?"
There's a number of reasons this can happen. The main ones would be genetics. So you may just have been blessed with that type of skin from your mom and from your dad. You can't really change your genetics. Another reason could be intense sun exposure. That's going to break down our collagen and our elastin tissues in the skin. And when you have less structural support, the skin will sag and you'll get wrinkles, and those pores are going to become more visible. And at 22, he probably doesn't have enough sun damage that's a primary cause. Smoking is another potential thing that will damage your skin and could cause the appearance of more comedones. And, I don't know if this individual is a smoker or not, but smoking is really bad for your skin. And then you may just have acne. Acne is common in the teenage years and even through the 20s. And you need to get on a skincare regimen that will help to remove some of the excess oil from the skin and help to get rid of some of those comedone plugs that are making your pores so visible. And I really like things like salicylic acid, retinol, retinoid medications, even benzoyl peroxide can play a role. And it's good to start slow and introduce products one at a time. Don't do everything all at once.
Absolutely. I knew. I mean, this is one of the biggest thing that people do not take care of. They'll hear the video, hear the audio, they'll see a video, and what they will do is order everything: two salicylic acid serums, one cinnamide face wash, one aloe vera gel, and everything. And they make, a type of khichdi and a food over their face and skin. Well, moving on, we have Uditi Sharma from Lucknow. She says, "Hello, Dr. Dustin, greetings from India. I got pregnant recently. Congratulations, Uditi. I am very
Congratulations.
happy, but I'm scared a lot about stretch marks. Is there any way to escape from it?" I believe this is not just Uditi, but the voice of every other pregnant woman.
Probably so. To a degree, again, there are genetic components at play that we really just can't change here. The most important thing is to take good care of your developing baby. You need to have a good diet, you need to have good hydration and nutrition because you want to do everything you can to protect your body. And I have so much respect and admiration for women who sacrifice their time and their bodies to bring a new life into the world. It's really a miraculous thing, but it is a sacrifice and it does take a toll. And so when we're trying to prevent stretch marks, some of them may just happen based on your genetics. But if you can keep the skin well hydrated using a moisturizing cream every time you get out of the shower, keep your moisture strong, and avoid other things like excessive sun exposure, and a poor diet that may just contribute to negative health consequences in general. And if you take as good of care of your skin as you can, I think there is less likelihood of developing stretch marks. And there's also hopefully more capacity for the skin to return to normal following delivery. But they're not 100% preventable, but just good, gentle skincare and to be grateful, for a healthy pregnancy. So,
And here I would also like to make a note, as I always say when it comes to pregnancy, that all you beautiful ladies are beautiful and will always remain beautiful because you are doing a really great job, and salute to you. Moving on, we
amen.
have Anshita Gupta from Punjab. She says, "Hello, Dr. Dustin. How to gain confidence with the skin I have? I do not like to show my face because of brown color and not so flawless skin. How to love my own skin and become comfortable out of it?"
This is a great question. And I deal with this in my clinic all the time when people come in and they want Botox or they want fillers or they want laser treatments because they're not confident about their skin. And there are a few things that I tell people. And the first one is that as much as we think everybody pays attention to us, unfortunately, they're really not. You have to turn the tables and think how often you're walking through the market, walking, on the streets. Are you really paying attention to flaws in somebody else's skin? And the reality is, it doesn't cross your mind very much at all, unless they have a large tumor growing off their face. But in general, you're not noticing little brown spots. But that person may go home and look in the mirror and really be distressed about the presence of wrinkles or brown spots or acne. But just remember, how frequently do you think about that on other people? Then flip the tables back and know that most people, even if we want them to pay more attention to us, don't really pay attention to the things that bother us. So this is largely an inner monologue that you're going through in your head that's shattering your self-confidence. And I think first off, understanding that most other people don't pay attention to the things that you're concerned about is reassuring. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to correct, change, improve something on your skin, whether it's wrinkles, brown spots, acne, or anything else. But that doesn't change who you are inside. You are still the same person. And if you're not happy with yourself with a few brown spots, you may not be happy with yourself when you get rid of the brown spots. And so it's important to understand that there's an underlying message in your head that is telling you not to love yourself, and you have to love yourself first. And then you can use good skincare to focus on brown spots. You can use sunscreen to prevent them from getting worse. You can pursue non-invasive treatments with a dermatologist or plastic surgeon. But love yourself first and understand nobody else is being critical of you the way that you're being critical of yourself.
Absolutely. This is the message that everyone needs to hear this right now. Moving on, we have Mr. Karan Mohan Puria from Ghaziabad. He says, I have heard that drinking a lot of water makes the skin glow. Is it true? Because I cannot drink a lot of water because I have to run to pee every single time. How much water shall one person drink normally to make the skin glow?
Well, there's nothing magical about drinking extra water and having your skin glow. Now, if you get really dehydrated, that can show up in your skin. But once you're adequately hydrated, meaning you're not really feeling thirsty, your skin's not going to really be a lot different. So you don't need to really try to drink, you know, 10 or 20 liters of water in a day. It's not practical to do that. And in fact, it may be harmful. As a professional, you know that we can suffer electrolyte imbalances by drinking too much water. You
Absolutely.
may cause your sodium levels to drop too low. So, it's important. I take a hydration supplement that I pour in my water that has a little extra sodium so that when I drink a lot of water, I'm still very balanced. So keep yourself well hydrated, eat a healthy diet, and your skin will do the best that it can with that. But consuming water above and beyond is not going to give you magical radiance to your skin.
Well, bingo, you have answered all the questions of my followers, patients, and client. But we still have a lot of questions ready for you from me. So, moving on, Dr. Dustin, you would agree with one point that dermatological products, serums and face washes, moisturizers, sunscreens, the list never ends. These are an integral part, and we cannot actually, expect our skin to radiate and glow and have a healthy skin without using them. But somehow they are exceptionally a lot more expensive for a few people, or I would say a majority of population. So can we say that the reason behind people do not consulting a dermatologist more often is because of the expensive costs, or there is some underlying conditions as well with this?
Well, if I understand the question correctly, I mean, it can be expensive to go see a physician. I won't doubt that. There are areas where it may be less expensive, or your medical visits may be completely covered by government health insurance. But that doesn't mean that it's still easy to go in and see one. There may be weeks or months long wait lists in order to get into a professional. And so, in many cases, you can get very good education online through social media, through skincare company websites. And then you can identify products that you'd like to try. And I really don't think people need to spend a lot of money on the products. In many cases, generic alternatives are a great place to start. I talk about, name brands on my content all the time with like CeraVe, La Roche-Posay, but I would absolutely encourage somebody to pick up the generic alternative of those if the brand name is not in their price point, so that you can take care of your skin and you don't have to spend, your whole paycheck on that.
Makeup. We know this word excites us as well as scares us because makeup actually destroys our skin a lot. And more than males, females are, fascinated about makeup. They just love makeup, but on the cost of their skin. So, as a dermatologist, Dr. Dustin, my question to you is, what exactly is the right way to put on a makeup, to wear the makeup, that it does not harm your skin?
I don't wear makeup myself, and I do counsel my patients around it a little bit, but I'm certainly not the expert when it comes to makeup. But as far as a few pointers and tips, again, this goes back to loving yourself first. But there are individuals I see in my clinic who wear a lot of makeup. I mean, it's really, a phrase that's kind of thrown around, but it's caked on. It's very thick. And to me, it feels like they're trying to cover up who they are. Um, and they don't really need to do that. I think in many cases you can get by with minimal makeup. And I think culturally, women do have it a lot harder than men because there's this expectation to enhance the eyelashes and the eyebrows and contour the face. And most guys wake up and shake their head and they're out the door. So again, accepting, who you are and, keeping the makeup to a minimal is going to be healthier for your skin. Always putting on a little sunscreen before you put on your makeup. And then I generally recommend mineral based or water based makeups that are easy to remove at the end of the day and don't require a lot of harsh scrubbing. The oil based makeups may be best for certain applications. However, they're a little more difficult to take off. You typically need to do a double cleanse for those. And you certainly should not be sleeping in your makeup. If you're going to be putting makeup on, you need to make sure you have the time to take it off at the end of the day because leaving it on your skin overnight will increase your risk of acne, irritation, inflammation, and other skin problems.
Absolutely. Last but not the least, Dr. Dustin, what will be Dr. Dustin's biggest piece of advice for everyone who's listening and watching this episode right now from various parts of the world to take care of their skin and hair?
Well, there's, one or two things that I think is really important. From a skincare perspective, wearing sunscreen will give you the highest return on investment. So wearing sunscreen prevents so many problems, whether it's inflammation, discoloration and pigment, wrinkles, even in some cases, flaring up your rosacea or your acne. Sunscreen pays off more than any other skincare product you could buy. And the second thing is to not neglect the health of your body. If you're relying on skin creams, lotions, and serums, but you drink too much alcohol, or you don't get enough sleep routinely, or you don't have a physical exercise regimen, those things are much harder to overcome. You're not going to get the results out of your skincare if you're not taking care of the rest of your body because it's all connected. And good metabolic health improves the health of your skin.
Totally, as we say, that Dr. Dustin works to make you healthy and beautiful both in and out. Well, with this, we have come to an end of the episode. Thank you, Dr. Dustin, for joining in and taking out time from your schedule to speak to us. I do believe you enjoyed it, and this was a beautiful episode for you too.
It definitely was, Dr. Anushruti, and I'm looking forward to seeing it go live.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Well, with this is your reminder to straighten your back and love your skin because you are precious and every individual is precious and beautiful. So, love yourself, love your skin. We'll meet in the next episode. Till then, take care. Goodbye.